Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about breastfeeding, the science and an art. This is session number 5, and very interesting session because now we're going to start with breast milk, breastfeeding, art, science. So you will learn about infant nutrition, extremely important in child's life because that gives foundation to a child's health. Okay. So, we always think that only poor mothers or uneducated mothers or illiterate mothers, they may need help. Or sometimes people feel that, somebody who is highly educated, she may need help because she does not probably know the culture. Or, there are all these myths, But what we found that whether a woman is educated, whether she is coming from a very wealthiest quintile, or if she's poor or she's tribal, urban, does not matter. Each and every woman needs guidance with breastfeeding. So it's important that we don't create this kind of preconceived notion that she will need help or she will know it, or every woman needs help. So that's important to know. Human milk, beautiful infograph. What it has different sections, okay, as you can see, and it gives a kind of information about ingredient of human milk, content of human milk. Okay, so we'll start with basically the rightmost corner, top rightmost corner. What it has all this threonine and methionine, cysteine. Those are all amino acids. Amino acids make your protein. Okay, so basically it has all the amino acids which are required in the diet. All of them. It has essential amino acids, it has non-essential amino acids. Very good, very digestible protein breast milk has. It's called whey protein, so very high in whey protein, very easily digestible. Okay, second section over here, it's your triglyceride, your all these different kind of fats, lauric acid and phosphatidylcholine and all this. These are all basically different kind of fats. Okay, the kind of fat that breast milk has, it has omega-3, DHA and EPA, and those fats are important for your brain, baby's brain, for eyes and for heart. Okay, so and there are many studies that, as I mentioned earlier also, many studies which are published showing that babies who take mother's milk have higher IQ, and that's because of the kind of fat that mother's milk has. When you buy formula, what they do is they remove the cow milk's fat, so they remove that saturated fat which is important for brain, okay, and they put in all vegetable oils. Okay, so it's kind of unnatural, really. So that's why I've given in one of my tutorial on complications of formula and cow milk about this fats. Another thing what it has, these are your macrophages, or IgA, complements. These are all basically your immune function, immune cells. Okay, breast milk is a live substance. So if you add any microbacteria or any bacteria or viruses, it immediately gets killed. Okay, because this breast milk is a live product. Very important, macrophage. Macrophage are those large cells. Macro means large. They're large cells and they engulf bacteria. They engulf a lot of your microorganisms. Okay, it has all immunoglobulin. It has IgA, IgM, IgE. There's all these immunoglobulins that breast milk has, and that's why even in COVID, babies are protected if babies get mother's milk, right? Any type of infection, if mother has any kind of infection, in fact breast milk will increase those immune cells, will fight against the infection. So many times mother may ask whether I can breastfeed. Yes, she can breastfeed even if she has cold, cough, diarrhea, any of those infection. Okay, even in HIV actually mother can breastfeed. Okay, all right. Then you have, these are all enzymes. So enzymes are your antitrypsin and histaminase. These are all enzymes which digest your food, and it is helping in a lot of biochemical reactions. Okay. These are all your hormones. So you have your T3, T4, TSH, all those different prostaglandin, cholecystokinin, cortisol, insulin. So mother's milk has all this, hormones, leptin. Again, very very important for the baby. Okay. Here, what you have in this section, you have kind of growth hormone kind of factors. So it has GCSF, it has calcitonin, it has like all these other kind of hormones, insulin, like growth factors. It's all again kind of ingredient which are required for growth. Okay. Then you have over here all the vitamins. So basically all your fat soluble vitamin and water soluble vitamin. Remember, if vitamins are low in mother, then those mothers will have less vitamin in their breast milk. Okay. Vitamin is your type 1 nutrient. So any type 1 nutrient which is lacking in mother will be lacking in breast milk also. This one also has minerals. So you have your zinc, iodine, all that, potassium, magnesium. So type 2 micronutrient will not kind of change so much if mother is lacking, because those micronutrient will come from cells, will come from muscle tissue. Okay. So that remember, the type 2 micronutrient does not change in breast milk. Then you have something called nucleotides. Okay, so these are your nucleotides, very important in formation of DNA, in repair of DNA, kind of making new cells. So these are all your nucleotides which are present in mother's milk. Okay, so there is nothing that you can compare to mother's milk. The best, nature's gift to baby, really. So please make sure that each and every mother get this information. We have a very good tutorial on importance of breastfeeding, complications of formulas and cow milk. If you have any family member who is planning to become pregnant or who is pregnant, please kind of pass on this tutorial to them. It's crucial that mother and the family listen to what science has to say. Okay, and once they understand this, then I would recommend that they watch those technique tutorial, the art of breastfeeding, because that's another thing which is kind of you have to pass through that hurdle. Okay, because many mothers give up too soon, because of the poor technicality. Okay, or poor understanding of the techniques. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the science of breast milk. Breast milk has a lot of different factors. Of course, most important is your nutrition, right? It's optimum nutrition for an infant. Okay, they don't need anything except probably vitamin D. It is optimal food for health, growth, and development of the infant. It's not only beneficial to infant but also to mothers. Okay, what are the advantages of breastfeeding? So basically it has nutritional factors, it has immunological factors, it has psychological factors, economical factors, and physiological factors. Okay, now this is the table which shows the composition, human milk composition. It is compared to cow milk and buffalo milk. Okay, so if you look at comparison, so this is your protein. So protein is lowest in human milk, but is highly digestible. Okay, very easily digestible. Cow milk protein is predominantly casein. Casein protein is really hard, very heavy. It's the same protein basically when you make paneer out of milk, so that casein, that paneer is casein, and whatever water is left behind, that's whey. Okay, just make sure when you make paneer at home, don't throw away that whey. Just use it in either making rice or dal or whatever you make. And buffalo milk has 4.3 grams of protein. So buffalo milk has the highest protein. Okay, carbohydrate basically highest in human milk. Okay, fats highest in buffalo milk, 6.5 grams. per 100 ml. Calcium, you can see, look at the amount of calcium, cow milk and then buffalo milk, some of the highest amount. Phosphorus, again, it's increasing, okay, not necessarily good for baby in a so much high amount. And basically vitamin C is high in human milk, okay. So this is just a main difference basically between human milk, cow milk and buffalo milk. This is what I spoke about, that protein is low in human milk, kind of high in cow, and goat, here they have given goat. So protein is kind of, pretty much a little bit lower than cow, but higher than human milk. Lactose, as I told you earlier also, lactose is higher in human milk, kind of a little bit less in cow and goat milk. But goat milk has a high amount of fat. As you can see, goat milk is very fatty, okay. This is the difference between fore milk and hind milk, okay. Now, if you look at mature milk comes in, say, on around day 3, you have a transition milk, and after about a week or so, then a mature milk comes in. So when the mature milk comes in, the front part of the milk, okay, which is in the front part of the breast, it's fore milk, and that's kind of a little bit watery, and it has kind of good amount of protein. But the fat is not much in fore milk. As you can see over here, the fat is not much, okay. Hind milk, the back part of the milk, okay, that is much higher in fat. So babies who drink much more, or baby completely empties one breast, those babies kind of tend to do well, not only in terms of weight but also in IQ, because fat is again very high in omega-3, your DHA, okay. So make sure that you completely empty your breast and then go on the other side. And when you completely empty, you want to do objective examination by looking at, press the breast, I'll show you in my one tutorial how to express manually, but there is a technique to it, so you learn it, okay. You make sure that there is no hind milk left, then you go on the other side, okay. Colostrum is basically your fat. Colostrum is very fatty, and it's high amount of protein, okay. So you can see, compared to mature milk, look at the amount of fat it has, amount of protein, because it's a very small quantity that the babies get in the beginning, the mothers produce, so it's very kind of calorie dense, okay. And a lot of time, initially first couple of days, baby tend to sleep more. Do not worry about it, it's okay, because it has good amount of fat and protein, okay. So that is about colostrum. In one of our tutorial, we have given how much colostrum mothers get, on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. It's important to understand that, because many times mother feel that, oh, I'm not getting milk, but they need to know that there is only some amount of milk that they'll get, okay. Carbohydrate, human milk is the sweetest milk due to high amount of lactose. Lactose, which is present in higher level in human milk, facilitate the absorption of magnesium, calcium and amino acids, okay. So that lactose is really important in mother's milk. The high content of galactolipids promote rapid brain growth also, so it's important for brain growth. And galactose, which is milk sugar present in milk, is essential for formation of myelin, okay, which is important for the normal nerve function. Myelin is the sheet which covers the neuron cells. So galactose is really important. It gives immediate energy to the baby, okay. Next is your macroprotein. Protein is present in the form of lactoalbumin, okay, that's your milk protein, which forms a soft curd. So many times you see when the baby finish feeding, they will have a little bit of cuddling, like a cuddle, the milk cuddles, and that's your lactoalbumin. And this lactoalbumin is very easily digestible and absorbed by infant very fast. So it's predominantly a whey protein, okay. Human milk is rich in sulfur. Now, of course, in my previous session, I discussed about sulfur. Again, crucial for liver, crucial for, brain development, systems important for brain development. So just make sure that babies get human milk, okay. It is also rich in amino acid called taurine, and taurine is a very important neurotransmitter, Okay, we're just discussing very kind of short. I don't want to go too much in detail because we have people from different backgrounds, so I don't want to go too much in that medical aspect of or nutrition and dietitian or nutrition aspect of breast milk, but we have explained in a very simple way in our tutorials. Now this is the difference of quality of protein in different milk. So here if you look at it, human milk has predominantly whey protein, 35% casein. Over here cow milk has 80% casein. Casein is the paneer. Okay, so definitely when children have cow milk, it's very difficult to digest. They tend to have a lot more vomiting, bloating, stomach upset. Babies who are breastfed, they are generally very quiet, unless they have colic. Okay, but otherwise they are pretty happy babies. Now let's talk about fats. So fats in present in human milk are essential fatty acids. They also have cholesterol, unsaturated fatty acids, and phospholipids. Okay, so cholesterol is one of the most important nutrient which are required for brain formation and for brain function and for myelin synthesis. So please make sure that you kind of give your milk. Okay, and cholesterol is not bad. Infants have very limited ability to convert alpha linolenic acid to EPA DHA. That means what it means that some of the vegetable oils like flax seeds oil, walnut oil, some of this vegetable oils have omega-3. But which omega-3? Alpha linolenic acid. Okay, only 4 to 10% of those alpha linolenic acid gets converted to your EPA DHA. Okay, now young children, young babies, they don't have ability to convert this ALA into EPA DHA. Okay, so even if suppose they're not drinking mother's milk, and if they're taking say cow milk or formula, formulas doesn't have EPA DHA. They claim that they have added EPA DHA, but studies have not conclusive that helps with the child's IQ. Okay, so best way to make your child intelligent is to just give your own milk. There are other fats in mother's milk, acetylcholine, choline, phospholipids, carnitine. These are all basically very important for brain development. Okay, so fat is one of the most important kind of macro in mother's milk. Then let's talk about minerals. A mineral is basically your sodium, potassium, magnesium, zinc. Those are all your mineral. Okay, breast milk has a low level of iron but is very highly bioavailable because of the presence of lactoalbumin and lactoferrin. Okay, which enhances iron absorption. Calcium to phosphorus ratio is 2:1, which helps in its ideal position. Okay, absorption. Sorry. Zinc absorption is also better from breast milk due to presence of zinc binding protein in breast milk. Okay, so all these minerals are there and they are in a very good bioavailable state. So it's easy to absorb from breast milk. Okay, similar kind of suppose iron was present in cow's milk, but cow milk iron is not bioavailable. So even if it may anyway, cow milk is not high in iron anyway, but whatever iron is there, it's the bioavailability is very, very poor. Okay, vitamins are the vitamin content of human milk generally reflects the vitamin intake and nutritional status of the mother. Now this is why I already explained that if mother is deficient on those vitamins, then a baby will have vitamin deficiency too. So for example, most common deficiency which mother has is your vitamin D. Okay, so make sure that babies, they get vitamin supplements, or at least they're exposed to the sun. Okay, protection against infection. So mother is infected. Okay, I already explained to you what happens when the mother is infected. Her immunity goes up. Okay, and her immunity basically passes on to the baby through breast milk. Okay, so that's important that mother continue to breastfeed even if she has viral infections or any other bacterial infections too. Okay. Living substance with unique component that cannot be replicated in infant formula. I keep reiterating this, and I cannot say enough. Its impact on brain development immunity is unparalleled. It is a personalized medicine for your baby. Okay, very, very crucial, very important. Please let mothers know. Okay, it's a personalized medicine. It's a foundation of baby's health. If breastfeeding kind of not given in first, at least minimum in first 1 day or so, as I mentioned about the golden hour, then the lifelong repercussion is bound to happen. Okay, so to prevent from a lot of infections, a lot of other conditions, diseases, make sure the children get your milk right away and continue to get milk as long as you can give it. Okay. What are the immunological factors? Immunological factors are present in colostrum as well as in the milk. Okay, macrophages are those big cells. Okay, I mentioned to you, they engulf and digest bacteria. Okay, and thus the bacteria and the viruses responsible for disease can be destroyed in this way. Okay, second one is your lymphocytes. Those are your white cells. Lymphocytes are the white blood cells responsible for attacking wide range of infectious organisms. Human milk contain T cells and B cells. Okay, T lymphocytes offer protection against malaria. What is lactoferrin? Lactoferrin is an iron-containing protein found both in colostrum and mature milk. Okay, this is again another important ingredient I want you to remember. Lactoferrin. What it does, it inhibits the growth of certain iron-dependent bacteria in the GI tract. Okay, and therefore it offers protection against GI infections. Okay, so that's why lactoferrin is really important, because it will prevent diarrhea, especially all GI infections. Also, basically, it's iron binding, iron containing protein. Okay, Lactobacillus bifidus factor. Okay, so basically this particular factor is present in human milk. Okay, and it has a lot of function. What are the function it has? It encourages the growth of certain microorganisms like Lactobacillus bifidus. Okay, that's why it's called Lactobacillus bifidus factor. Okay, because it kind of stimulates the growth of this organism, and it produces lactic acid. Okay, lactic acid is produced from what? From lactose, which is your milk sugar. Okay, and what does this lactic acid do? It depresses the growth of diseases producing organisms like E. coli. So there are certain organisms which are pathogenic, means which causes disease. So this particular lactic acid will prevent the growth of those disease producing pathogens or the disease producing organisms. Okay, growth of Lactobacillus bifidus is enhanced on high lactose and low protein ratio present in human milk. Okay, so how does this growth of Lactobacillus bifidus occur? Because of the high lactose in milk and also low protein ratio in human milk. Okay, so your sugar to protein ratio is low. Immunological factor. So enzymes, breast milk supplies enzymes like amylase, lipoprotein lipase, lactoperoxidase. There's a lot of other enzymes which I showed in the diagram. Okay, this enzyme, what it does, increases digestibility and acts as a defense against microbes. Okay, so there's another factor of immunological this thing. Immunoglobulins are the defensive protein. Secretory IgA, IgG, IgM are present in human milk. Fatty acids and monoglycerides. Fatty acid and monoglycerides present in human milk are able to penetrate the members of viruses and bacteria and destroy them. Okay, so again very important, fatty acids and monoglycerides, which are your fats. Okay, so breast milk builds immunity and modulates the gene expression, which is a fine tune for life. Okay, it's basically a gene modulator. Okay, I would say gene expression modulator, not the gene modulator, gene expression. What does it mean is, like, for example, when it's basically kind of, I would say, epigenetic factor. Epigenetic means it will not change the genes, but it will change the environment around the gene. So gene will express in a good way. Okay, so the gene expresses, like for example, if somebody has diabetes, okay, and say if nobody in the family has, and that person has diabetes, so basically what it means that there are problems in the epigenetic factors, means something that went wrong in the environment that he expressed diabetes. Okay, the gene expressed diabetes or gene modulation. There is gene expression modulated, and that's how he developed diabetes. So that is your epigenetic factors. Okay, gene by itself does not change. That gene changes are basically occurring in mutation. When you have a mutation, when you have a like something like cancer, then your gene changes. But otherwise, most of these diseases which are lifestyle diseases are not because of genetics, it's because of the epigenetics. It's the environment around that person which makes that person get diseases. Okay, so there are a lot of diseases, and now insulin resistant is one of the biggest kind of root cause that they have found, which causes diabetes, blood pressure, and all different kind of diseases. Okay, so here I'm going to talk about now how breastfeeding works, because unless we understand the physiology about anatomy, we won't understand how breast milk is produced and what exactly happens. Okay, so here we will discuss about that. The cells, it causes basically kind of contraction of the cells, and the milk kind of flows out. Okay, so that's important. There you go. And when does it work? It works before or during feed to make milk flow. So many times what happens is, if mother is pumping with the pump, okay, and she will realize that she's just not getting milk. She's not getting milk. She will get maybe 2 teaspoons or 3 teaspoons, and mostly that is because she has not gotten the letdown reflex, and she will immediately know if she got the letdown reflex by certain signs and symptoms, which I'll explain to you later. But remember that the letdown reflex is very, very important, and for that mother has to be in a very good state of mind. Okay, if she is happy, if she is confident, if she is relaxed, she will definitely have letdown reflex. But if she is not kind of into it, she's in pain, she's worried, she's stressed, she's in doubt, she's sad, letdown reflex will not happen. And when you don't have letdown reflex, those cells do not contract. When the cells do not contract, the milk does not come into the areola. Okay, so that's why just keep mother happy. Let her relax, tell her to go out for a walk, not to get too worked up. She has to rest, drink water, eat proper food, and then of course relax and meditate. I think I really recommend mothers to meditate, because that relaxes them a lot. Okay, now what are the signs and symptoms of oxytocin release? So most of the time, at least in first few weeks or so, what happens, she feels that suddenly there is a tingling sensation in her breast, and just before, when she's trying to feed, or when she's full, or when she's thinking of the baby, even at work, she will suddenly feel the tingling sensation and the milk will start flowing. Okay, so that is kind of very typical sign of oxytocin release. But you won't see that kind of oxytocin release after a couple of months or so. So many times she feels, oh my god, now I'm not getting that tingling sensation, what happened? So it's very kind of obvious in first couple of months or so. Then what happens that of course, when she's feeding the baby on one side, the other side drips. That is also a sign of oxytocin release, that she's pushing that milk out, basically. The breast is pushing that milk out. Okay, and when mother, suppose baby comes off the breast, suddenly what she sees is like the milk flowing. It's like a spray coming out of the breast, and that's amazing. Actually, there's so much of milk coming out, and that's the importance of letdown reflex, that baby will not have to work too hard. It just, milk just flows. Okay, because of oxytocin. Then in early days, because of oxytocin, there is like a pain from uterine contraction, and there is a rush of blood during this feed in the first week. Okay, and slow deep sucks and swallowing by the baby, which shows the breast milk is flowing into his mouth. So when you look at baby's mouth, they'll have slow suck, and they'll have really good suck and then swallow, suck and swallow. Okay, few suck and then swallow. So that's another way. But again, it's very common in first couple of months or so, and then mothers know, babies know, so then it kind of decreases, and that sensation. So this is my last slide. What happens if mothers don't breastfeed, or for some reason she's breastfeeding very infrequently? Okay, or if baby is sick and baby is not sucking. then some amount of milk stays into the breast. Okay, those are called milk inhibitor factor, MIF. Okay, these are inhibitors. It stays in the breast. Okay, and basically it tells the breast that milk is not needed. Stop producing milk. Okay, and that's how basically slowly milk dries up. Okay, and it will stop producing milk. So this is your milk inhibiting factor. Okay.